Hi, United fans, strap yourselves in, because today we've got some seriously fascinating developments swirling around Old Trafford. And make no mistake, this could shape the direction of Manchester United's midfield and attack for the seasons ahead. From a commanding midfield general in Portugal, to one of Spain's most electric wingers, to a rising Premier League star attracting both sides of Manchester, and even questions surrounding a potential summer exit from the current squad, there is a lot to unpack today. So stay with me, because we're going to break everything down piece by piece, analyze what it means for the club, and ask the big questions that every Red is debating right now. And of course, if you're passionate about Manchester United and you don't want to miss the next huge update coming out of Carrington or Old Trafford, make sure you stay connected with the channel and keep supporting Trafford Times. Let's begin with the midfield story that is quietly gathering momentum behind the scenes. According to reports from the Portuguese outlet O Jogo via Sport Witness, Manchester United are keeping a very close eye on Morton Yulman, the captain of Sporting CP. Now this is where things start to get very interesting. Yulman is exactly the type of midfielder many United fans have been crying out for, a player who brings control, bite, tactical intelligence and leadership in the center of the pitch. A proper engine room operator. The kind of player who can dictate the tempo one moment and fly into a crunching challenge the next. In other words, a midfielder who could bring balance to the side when the pressure rises under the bright lights of Old Trafford. And let's be honest here, United's midfield has lacked that authoritative presence at times. Someone who can grab the game by the scruff of the neck, calm things down, and impose their will. Yulman is known in Portugal for exactly that. At Sporting, he's not just another player in the middle of the park, he's the captain, the organizer, the leader. When Sporting step onto the pitch in Lisbon, he's the one barking instructions, pressing opponents, and keeping the structure intact. So when United scouts watch him, they're not just seeing a midfielder, they're seeing a potential commander in the engine room. And there's another layer to this story that makes it even more compelling. Manchester United have a long and successful history with Sporting CP. Just think about the names that have travelled from Lisbon to Manchester. Cristiano Ronaldo, who became one of the greatest players in football history after leaving Sporting for United. Nani, who dazzled fans with his flair and creativity. Marcos Rojo, who added grit to the defence during his time at the club. And of course the current midfield magician, Bruno Fernandes, who has been nothing short of transformative since arriving at Old Trafford. So when United look towards Sporting again, fans naturally start to wonder, could lightning strike twice? Now here's the financial side of the story. Yulman reportedly has a release clause of around €80 million, which translates to roughly £69 million. That's not small change, but in today's market, for top-level midfielders, it's actually quite standard. What's even more intriguing is that Sporting may be willing to negotiate that figure. And if that's the case, you have to ask yourself, would Yulman be worth the investment if he becomes the midfield enforcer United have been missing? But the transfer talk doesn't stop there. According to reports from Trivela, Manchester United are also considering a move for Nico Williams of Athletic Club. And if this deal ever materializes, United fans could be in for something truly electrifying. Nico Williams is one of the most exciting young wingers in European football right now. Blistering pace, fearless dribbling, relentless attacking intent, he's the kind of winger who makes defenders panic the moment he picks up the ball near the touchline. Imagine this for a moment. A packed Old Trafford, the Stretford end roaring, and Nico Williams receiving the ball on the left wing. He squares up a fullback, drops a shoulder, and suddenly He's gone bursting past his marker and whipping a dangerous ball into the box. That's the kind of chaos he creates. That's why top clubs across Europe are watching him closely. However, there's a big hurdle in this potential deal. Williams reportedly has a release clause of €90 million. That's a massive figure, even for a club the size of Manchester United. But here's where the story becomes fascinating. Reports suggest Athletic Club might be willing to negotiate. If that's true, United could see this as a market opportunity, a chance to secure one of Spain's brightest attacking talents before his price climbs even higher. And let me ask you this. United fans, do you think Nico Williams would thrive under the Old Trafford spotlight? Could he become the next winger to light up the theatre of dreams? But wait, because another name has now entered the conversation, and this one involves a potential battle between the two Manchester giants. According to transfer expert Ben Jacobs, both Manchester United and Manchester City are expected to push hard for Elliot Anderson. Now that is a fascinating development. Anderson has been developing into a very impressive Premier League midfielder, energetic, technically gifted, and capable of driving forward with the ball. But here's the twist in this saga. There are no advanced negotiations yet, no club-to-club talks, and perhaps most importantly, the player himself has not decided where he wants to go. That means this race is wide open. United, however, have a very clear strategy when it comes to transfers. They prefer to secure the player's approval first before making a serious move. If the player isn't fully convinced, United often step away, just like we saw in the situation involving Antoine Semenyo. So here's the question for the fans. If Anderson had the choice between red and blue in Manchester, which side would he choose?